vibes. Yes, family, lodge up yourself, big up yourself. It's your one and only Selah Shalom 101. You know how we do. Yes, family. You know how we do. Legendary. It's the legendary. You know what time it is, family. It's a Buckeye vibes. Yes, family. Shout out to the creative game. Them coming through. You know what I mean? Make sure to hit the likes as you come in. You know how we do. Them chiming in. The Israelites see you, the Selah see you, set up I see you, one piece of gracious God. And I see you, what's going on, family? Cosmos Cal TV in the building. Make sure y'all go subscribe. Cosmos Cal, make sure y'all subscribe to me on Facebook. Elijah Messiah, what? Yeah, yo. What if I drop the rhythm? Yeah, yo. You know what I mean? I see the title. It's a Vibes with Selah Shalom. I have an upcoming debate. Oh, yes, family. Your boy Selah Shalom got a debate coming up. Shout out to Sarnetta. He hit me up the other day and he found a contender, opponent for me. You know what I mean? Somebody to get in the ring with. So, you know what I mean? We'll get this thing poppin'. You know how we do. Yeah, yo. So we got the debate. The guy that I'm gonna be debating, his name is G Conscious, if I'm not mistaken. G Conscious, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. Brother by the name of G Conscious. You know what I mean? That's who Sarnetta got for me to debate. Me and the brother had a discourse when I was on Sarnetta TV last time. He had, he was building or whatever. And Sarnetta hit me up the other day. Was like, yo, I got somebody for you, Selah. I'm like, word, who you got, brother? And the brother by the name of G-Con. So G-Con stepped up to the plate. That's what's up. You know what I mean? We're gonna narrow this thing down. So the topic of the debate is this. This is the topic of the debate. Because me, him, and Sai spoke on the phone a couple of days ago and agreed to the topic of the debate and agreed to the time and date. So the topic of the debate is this. Is God a deity or the creator? That's the topic. Is God a deity or the creator? That's the topic at hand. So what I'm going to do is basically, my theory is, and my point is that God is a deity. God is an angel. So I'm going to prove that God is a deity. And then I'm going to prove that a deity is not the creator. So that's my point. You know what I mean? My strong points I'm going to be dealing with. I got half the presentation done up already for the most part. You know what I mean? So, and the debate is taking place Wednesday. I got to make sure with Sarnetta, because I remember when I heard him on the live stream the other day, he said Thursday and we agreed Wednesday. So I just want to make sure we all on the same page because, dates can get mixed up and things of that nature. So, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be Wednesday at 7 p.m., but I just want to validate with Sarnetta to make sure that that's what it is because that's what we agreed on. But, sometimes, be so much going on, we can forget or misplace a day or whatever the case may be. But that's the topic at hand. Is God a deity or is God the creator? Just keep in mind, according to the Bible, God is the most high. God's supposed to be the creator according to the Bible. But if I can show you that this God who's supposed to be the creator, oh, take the stove off there. Pot. But if I could show that this God who's assuming to be the creator is a deity, then that's what I'm here to do, to show that. You know what I mean? Because that's my stance. Like I told Saul, my stance is that the God of the Bible is not the most high creator, is not the creator, but an angel assuming to be the creator. See what I'm saying? And one thing the Bible lacks is the heavenly kingdom, the breakdown of the heavenly kingdom. And that's what gives the Owaspi really the advantage, because the heavenly kingdom is explained in detail. It explains the differentiation of the gods and the Lord gods and the Lord's guardian angels. It gives you that whole rundown. So once you understand that, you'll understand that, okay, well, God is literally a ranking angel, no different than a president. A president is a chief ruler of the earthly government. You know what I'm saying? That don't make him the creator. So that's basically what I'm going to show that the God of the Bible is not a creator, but an angel, assuming to be the creator. Now, the creator creates worlds, celestial bodies, earths and atmospheric worlds. The creator creates. The duty of the gods, the duty of the deities, and the duty of the angels is to maintain and manage that which creator creates. See that? So when the creator created this world, the angels came and assembled and created a kingdom within the atmosphere of the world. It created a kingdom in the atmosphere of this planet for the spirits of the dead that will be dying on this planet. Because when you die, you rise in spirit. You rise in the atmospheric planes and continue to progress in spirit after your physical death. And these kingdoms are set up for your spiritual development and growth. Just like school, just like colleges, universities, these schools are set up for your educational growth. So these heavenly kingdoms among the gods and lords are kingdoms for the spirits of those crossing over on earth to continue to perpetual grow in spirit and advance. See that? That's how our shit is breaking down. So God and Lord are nothing but school teachers. They're school teachers in the heavenly kingdom. Their duty is to help you graduate. A school teacher is to do what? Give you subject matters, give you tests so you can pass and graduate and go on to the next grade above your school teacher. See that? You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? Hold on, family. I gotta do something real quick. Run the rhythm. Fire that goose stick. Yeah, family. So you're like, yo, daddy. But yeah, yo, that's the topic at hand. So what I'm going to show is that the Bible, I mean, not the Bible, the God of the Bible is basically an angel. The last time I brought up angel, when I was on Simon, when I brought up that God is an angel, they were like, oh, you know what I mean? Angel and God is two different words. Of course, it's two different words. But nonetheless, they're men. An angel means messenger. Who's sending the message? A man or a woman. See that? So if I'm God, right, sitting on the throne, and I said, yo, I got a message. I want you to, hey, come here, son. I got a message. I want you to go tell the man on earth. So I'm a man telling another man to go send a message to another man. See how that works? The simplest thing. A baby could understand this. So angel is not even, according to the Hebrew, angel just means messenger. It don't give you no real definition of what an angel is outside of just saying, oh, angel means messenger. Well, nigga, who's sending the message? Where's the message going to and from? And the Owaski clears up what an angel is, a one-time human being. What you think when you gonna become when you cross over, when you shed this physical body, what you think? You're gonna go back and dissipate in the air into nothingness and like you never existed? Only a fool with no spiritual understanding will believe that. If you think when you cross over and after you die and shed this physical body, that's the end of existence for you. That's, like I said, that's the equivalent of a baby in the womb talking about something. There is no life outside of this womb, and the baby is naive to the world he's coming into. That's the same equivalent of your denying the life after death. It's life after death, whether you believe it or not. It's not an issue of belief. It's inevitable. It's something you're just gonna have to experience, and then when you experience, you're gonna be like, damn, how the fuck these niggas knew that there's life after death, and these niggas were saying this shit while we was alive. The greatest awakening to the souls are the non-believers when they cross over and realize that it's real. But for niggas who already know, like us, like, you know, you're gonna cross over and be like, all right, no doubt, this is what I was expecting to see something, and sure enough, we seeing something. But for those who believe that when you die, that's it, because me and my mother be having these talks. I'll be telling my mother, I'm like, yo, ma, you know what I mean? It's life after death, and my mother's an Aries. My mother's an Aries, so you know them Aries ain't no joke. They're not just, they're not just gonna believe shit. They strong. They strong, and they question things. They strong in their belief. Like, if they're not quick to just accept shit. Like my mother, she just ain't quick to accept this shit. I told her, yo, ma, boom, boom, boom. She's like, She's like, you telling me after I die, I gotta go back to work and again? She said, no, I don't want to be born. Let me just, just blah, 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 just go out into existence. And I used to get mad. I'm like, yo, nah, you tripping, yo. But at the end of the day, you got to respect that. Because not everybody gonna see it how you see it. Although you may be telling the truth. You may be telling the truth that cannot be proven until it happens. So we cross over in spirit. I see you. You see me. I tell you, told you so. See? You thought I was lying when I said it's life after death. Now we up here chilling talking. See what I'm saying? And then there's numerous testimonies. There's numerous testimonies online of people who communicated with the spirits of the dead. This ain't nothing new. I'm sorry, it's 2023. If you still thinking that angels is goddamn a white man with wings on his back, if you still thinking that there is no life after death in 2023, you niggas is bugging. You letting us know that the white man got more spirituality than you niggas. Hollywood know what the fuck going on. When they produced that movie Ghost, whoever did that movie Ghost know what the fuck going on with the spiritual world. But you got these big Hollywood movies showing you the nature of the spirits. And you niggas still in denial. I'm like, all right. To each his own, though. I ain't mad at you. Oh, the music was too up. Get my Florida music down, yeah? Yes, family. Prince. Where you say Prince? Big up to Prince, the young boy. Big up to the young Prince, yeah? Create a gang, you already know. Where say Dreadful Kazman? Where say Yareya? Sabda, where say Big Man Messiah? Nice, where say Big Man? Bronze Yogi in the building. You know how we do. About to put one in the air. Antiquities Unveiled talks about the true mediumship. No doubt. No doubt. When we hit them Christians with a Polyattis of Tayana, oh, it's over. Yeah, let them Christians come. Let them niggas want to debate Jesus Christ. When we can show historically a Polyattis of Tayana and how they borrowed a lot of what we know as the New Testament of Jesus stories coming from a Polyattis of Tayana. And a Polyattis of Tayana is documented in history as a real person. We don't have Jesus Christ documented in history as a real person. According to, Bible scholars. He never walked the earth, and, you know what I mean? Do I believe Yahshua existed? Yeah, I do. Can I prove it based off the archaeology? It's rare. Does that stop us from understanding the spiritual progression, or is gonna monkey on our spirit because we don't have the proof of his existence? That shit don't bother. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob not existing don't bother us, man. That's minute things, those little small things. That may harper more on the Hebrew Israelites who, really uphold being descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But when you get to the point where we're at, and you understand that all flesh remains on earth, flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom, that means your nationality has no place in the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? Speaking from the Owaspi's perspective. Because according to the Bible's perspective, only Israelites are going to be in that kingdom, that 144,000, and the rest of the nations are going to be subjected to the Israelites. That's the biblical concept. So if I was still in the world believing in the biblical doctrine, nigga, I would be I'm going with the winning team. Why would I be a follower of the Bible and roll with the losing team? According to the Bible, the winning team is supposed to be the house of Israel. That's supposed to be the winning team. God chose the house of Israel, so why would I choose any other thing than being the chosen? If I was a Christian, or if I was believing in this Bible. 1, purify, do all the good you can, and affiliate. Exactly, L. That's it. Simple. The Creator's ways is very simple, yo. Purify oneself. You see what I'm saying? Do all the good you can, and affiliation. That's in the book of I forget what book it is, but that's in that may be the book of Judgment. But yeah, the burden of Creator is light. The service done unto others is that's how the worship of the Creator is the service done to your brother. You know what I mean? The service done unto others in righteous works. That's it. What did Yahshua say the greatest commandment was? Love thy neighbor as thyself. To love Creator as thyself, and then after you love Creator as yourself, you love your neighbors. Because if you love yourself, wait. See, if niggas follow those first 2 commandments, there'll be no bloodshed, there'll be no war. It'll be no reason for your God to be a God of war if you follow the first 2 commandments. Why would God be a God of war if the law states, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself? See what I'm saying? If Jesus saying, yo, turn the other cheek. If a nigga got them smack you over here, off another cheek, let him smack you this way too. So how can we go from that to going to battling and pulling out swords to go to war in the name of the Lord? The service of the Creator is simple, yo. It don't require much. You dig? The service of the Creator does not require much. Eric Hamilton, I see you. What's good, family? Book of Esquire. Yes, my brother, Book of Esquire. You don't know. See, a lot of people is up on it, Owaspi at this point. They up on game. They see the bigger picture. They rocking with us. But for y'all who still, you know what I mean, tiptoeing through the tulips and stumbling in the dark, we'll be patient with y'all, man. We'll definitely be patient. But the service to the Creator is righteous works, yo. Righteous works. You ain't got to kill no goats to serve Creator. You ain't got to chop off no goat heads to serve Creator. You ain't got to do that. That comes from your false gods. Serve Creator. Look, Book of Judgment. Book of Judgment. Let me see if I can make these a little bit bigger. Hold up. Book of Judgment, chapter 12, verse 3 through 6, it states, these are the grades of the resurrection of the souls of men. See that? We're dealing with resurrection, family. We're not sticking around and lingering on the earth. Resurrection means to rise up. This is what we're doing. We're rising up, family. You see, this is the schooling system. The earth is the lowest playing ground. That's grade 1. The atmosphere is high school. Etheria is college. So earth is elementary school. Elementary. On earth, we learn what? The elements. So we're in the elemental state on the earth plane. We're in elementary school. Elementary school goes from what? First grade to what? 6th grade. So that's where we're at as human beings, as a whole nation, as a whole planet, as a whole Homo sapiens sapien. Nigga, we elementary school students. That's why we can't get along with each other. That's why this nation don't like this nation, because we're still on an elementary level of learning. See that? Jaja say, yo, ain't no arguing gonna be going on in my exalted regions about God, lords, and saviors. Jaja say that in the book of Judgment. He said, yo, I ain't gonna have you niggas arguing about God, lords, and saviors up here. We don't do that up here. That's for the elementary students. If you're gonna do that, take your ass back down to the earth with the elementary students. So the earth plane is the elementary level. This is where we learn the elements. We study and investigate, right? On the earth plane. Then we rise after we die into the atmospheric plane. See that? So depending on how you live here, is you're going to determine how high you're going to ascend and how low you're going to ascend. Because keep in mind, what did the verse state? These are the grades of the resurrection of the souls of men. So when you die and cross over, depending on your grades, how you're going to is going to determine your descension. Verse 2. Verse 6. I people the heavens of the earth with the spirits of the dead. See that? This ain't nothing spooky. It's clarity. According to what? Their grade in their corporeal life, so do I arrange them. So I don't know what God y'all following, but the creator we follow is giving us insight of the life after death and how to prepare now while alive on earth so we could better sustain ourselves when we cross over. See that? Again, what did it say? These are the grades of the resurrections of the souls of men. I people the heavens of the earth with the spirits of the dead. According to what? Their grade in their corporeal life, so do I arrange them. See that? So again, the heavenly kingdoms are set up for your resurrection and ascension. And depending on what your grade is, so shall ye go to whatever requirements within the heavenly kingdom is needed for you to ascend. So if you cross over and your grade is grade 1, you're going to need some great assistance. That's a low grade. If you come in and your grade is 50, well, guess what? You rising and ascending to the 2nd atmospheric heaven or plane right here. And then if you got a grade 99, you up there with the big dogs. That's the highest atmospheric, just like school. The highest grade you can get in school is a 99, 100. If you got 100, you're a smart cat. If you're knocking out them hundreds, they're going to look at you like, oh, this kid bright. He's smart. He's intelligent. Why? Because he has a high grade. He maintains a grade 99. You remember when you was in school, you was maintaining high grades till you got to higher grades to where the subject matter got a little bit more complicated and a little bit more difficult, and your grades dropped a little. You may have went from that 98 to a 92, and then from a 92 to an 85, then from an 85 back up to an 87. That's how the grades fluctuate in school. No different how your spiritual grade fluctuate. And your grade fluctuate based off the service done to others. Again, I do not fill the air of the firmament with angels scattered about, but I give them regions habitable and home-like. See that? Home-like. Ain't you niggas at home right now? Don't you enjoy the comfort of your home? So what makes you think when you cross over in spirit, you're not going to have the same comfortability? We're going to be advancing in this comfortability. So if you're enjoying your home now, just imagine wait till you get to your home in the atmosphere, the atmospheric homes that exist above us. Oh man, he talking spookism, he talking crazy. Yeah, nigga, when your ass die and end up in them regions, you're gonna be shocked to be like, how did these niggas know this shit on earth? And I had to find out this shit when I die. See that? So again, verse 17, I do not fill the air of the firmament with angels scattered about, but I give them regions habitable and home-like, and I grade the regions as to how suitable they are to the resurrection of what? The spirits of the dead. So if you want to ever know what grandpa and grandma doing and your ancestors who done crossed over, the Owaspis is letting you know, nigga, we have a whole habitation up here. That's why they don't probably come back and visit your ass, because they so stuck on stupid of how beautiful the spiritual world is. They probably like, nigga, I see you when you get here, boy. They go such and such. He died prior to me. And there he go. They're having a conversation with the people who died prior to them. They're having a conversation with their grandparents and their forefathers and foremothers who done crossed over before them. They see them in spirit now. So they're not too hasty to run back to the earth yet, because they're comprehending and digesting the fact that they're still alive in spirit. Although because a lot of people think that this physical world, this physical flesh is it. When you die, nigga, that's it. You have a lot of people that believe that. But the reality is that there's life after death, and it's inevitable. It ain't an issue of do you believe this shit. It ain't an issue about how much knowledge you got. It's not none of that. It's organic in nature. It's a constitutional growth. It's something that is. It's something that the Creator put in creation. That's part of creation. You won't have a say-so in is there life after death? You don't have a say-so in that. You can give your opinion. You can give what you think. But the reality is that it's inevitable. It's like a baby in the womb. That baby got to come out. It can't stay in the womb forever. Now, the baby in the womb could be talking to himself and be like, yo, there is no other existence outside of this womb. Regardless of what he said, he can say whatever you want to say. But it's inevitable that he's going to come through the canal of that womb and be born into this world. And be like, damn, I thought where I was at was it. I thought the womb of my mother was it. But then he comes out the womb, he comes into the world. It's the same thing. When you come out this womb called the flesh, this flesh is a womb for your spirit. And when you shed this womb, you're going to come into another world the same way your baby comes into the world. And when a baby comes into the world, notice it don't come into the world looking like this, like with his eyes open, acknowledging everything. No, the nigga come into the world with his eyes closed. And he may do this. He may open up and get a glimpse of the light. He may get a glimpse of that light and close his eyes right back like, yo, what was that? I'm in darkness, but I just did this and see light, nigga. What? He don't even comprehend yet. It's inevitable. You can't change that. That's Creator. So when you shed this womb called the physical body, you're going to be born in spirit, no different than a baby is born into the world. See that? As above, so below as above. Owaspi lets us know. That's what the purpose of the book was, to give you insight of the life after death, because you've been taught for the last 2,000 to 3,000 years about a false indoctrination of how things are going to be in the life after. So again, let's move on. These are the grades. This is how you determine your grade. This is everything. This is the service of the Creator right here. Labor and grade. What is the labor? The service done unto others in comparison to the service done unto self. You see, grade 99 is the highest. Grade 1 is the lowest. Grade 50 is midway. Let's look at grade 1, serving self 100%. If you serve yourself 100% of the time, you got the lowest spiritual grade. When you go out your door every day and you don't do nothing to help nobody, but you do everything for yourself, for self, that means you're not rising spiritually. The service done unto others is how you rise. The giving away of what you have. The exertion of spirit within you, giving, is how you rise in spirit. That determines your resurrection. So you're graded from 1 to 99. Everybody on the face of the planet is walking around with numbers on top of their head. And these numbers is going to determine your spiritual ascension after you die, whether you're going to be in the lower realm or the higher realm or everything in between. So these numbers that you see are percent rates. They're the percent rates of your grade. So if you have a grade 25, that means you're serving others only 25% of the time. 1, 25, 50, 75, 99, these are the service done to other people. So if you got a grade 25, that means you're only serving others in righteousness only 25% of the time. Regardless of what the service is, nigga, you could be a plumber, you could be an electrician, you could be a carpenter. It don't matter what the service is, but it's you exerting yourself to your fellow humanity. That's how you're graded. If you got a grade 50, that means you're serving others 50% of the time. So when you wake up, whatever you start your day, if you're doing something for somebody else, serving others, constantly doing something for somebody else, that's the service right there. That's how you're judged and graded. If you have a grade 75, that means you're serving people 75% of the time. And the rest of the percentage is what you serve for yourself. So somebody with a grade 75, may spend 75% of the day doing for others and spend the rest, the 25%, doing for themselves. So out of 24 hours in a day, how much of that day do you help people in comparison to serving yourself? And that's practical. See, what we got is practical shit you could do, apply now. We're not talking about running behind and falling in front of some God to worship a God, talking about holy, holy, holy all day. No, this is how you serve the Creator. Did not the law say the greatest laws is to love Creator, and then the second is to love thy neighbor as thyself? If you love your brother, you're going to serve your brother. You're going to help your brother. You're going to help lift your brother up, and vice versa in return. That's how you rise spiritually. Book of Judgment. Let me see here. Hold up. Book of Judgment. Let me just bring that up. So Book of Judgment. Look at what it states. Chapter 6, verse 1. Whether on earth or in heaven, the same rules apply to both. See that? See that? Ain't no separation. He who serves himself one half and serve others one half shall stand grade 50. And that's the example chart right there. So if you serve yourself out of 24 hours of the day, if you spend 12 hours serving yourself and the next 12 hours serving others, your grade stands grade 50 in a 24-hour day. Just use that as an example, showing you how it's practical today's time. We don't have to go run and search for no God to figure this out. This is self-responsibility. This is responsibility that you have to do. And this is just an example. If you maintain a grade 50 while you was alive, when you cross over in spirit and rise in the atmosphere, you're going to rise to this grade in atmospheria. The atmosphere is graded from 1 to 99, 99 being the highest atmospheric grade. And what is the highest atmospheric altitude? It's the exosphere. See that? You have ancestors out there in the exosphere. You have ancestors out here in the stratosphere, and you have ancestors right here lingering on Earth. See how that works? See how that works? And all these are just, these verses right here just breaking down what I was just saying right here in this chart, the service to the others. That's all I've shown you in these verses right here. Grade 10, look, grade 10, grade 1, resting on. So all these people who crossing over in spirit, and they ain't been really doing their spiritual progression, they're going to be lingering spirits residing on the earth plane. See that? See that? Now look at this, grade 99. Grade 99 is the highest atmospheric grade. Now, once you get to grade 99, what you think gonna happen? You think you're gonna stay there forever? Grade 99 is the baby in the womb. That shit gotta bust, it gotta come out. You gotta graduate. You can't stay in grade 99 on the earth plane forever. This is graduation, family. This is when them ethers come, them etherian angels. This is when them the college scouts come, because you got a high GPA grade. Oh man, this guy over here got a 4.2 GPA. Let's see if we can get him to come to this college and university over here. Let's go to his high school and see if we can convince him to come to this college and university over here outside of his high school. That's the same equivalent we talking about when it comes to graduating the atmospheric plane of the earth. It's graduation, family. You're gonna graduate and go to another. You're gonna go to the etherian realms existing outside of the earth and the atmosphere. That's the next plane. That's graduation. That's basically saying you're going to graduate high school and go to college. That's what I'm saying. In layman terms, that's what I'm saying. That's the spiritual progression. And just some context and verses. And whoever serves accordingly, himself or others, shall stand in grade, even as his works manifest. See that? So you're responsible for your works. Ain't no God and no angels coming down to tell you nothing. You get this knowledge, now go out there and make it practical. Apply it. To serve oneself is to work for oneself, to strive for oneself, to think for one's own self as to what will benefit one's own self. That's the selfish person. So check this. To serve others is to do good to others, to help them, to teach them, to give them joy and comfort. This is the service of Creator. See that? That's the service of the Creator right there, Jehovah. To serve others and to do good unto others. That's the service. So if you're not doing that, you're not serving Creator. So when we went into captivity and slavery, they wasn't serving Creator. When Israel ran up into the land of Canaan to kill off the Canaanites, they wasn't serving Creator. Huh? Why? Because they was doing things that are below the grades. These are the things that are below the grades right here, verse 10. But there are some who are below the grades, who seek to do evil, who seek to make others unhappy, who delight in crime and pollution. These, if mortal, shall be called drunks, and if spirit, shall be called drudges, or drudge singularly. So they're letting you know they're making a distinction. They're making a distinction with the service done unto others and the behavior and actions that comes with it. So if you're serving others, doing what? Good to others, if you're helping them, if you're what? Teaching them, giving them what? Joy, giving them comfort. It says what? This is the service of Creator. But then it also lets you know, it says there are some who are what? Below the grades, who seek to do what? Evil. It's making the distinction so you know the difference between what's coming from Creator and what's coming from self, Satan. And this, what we're reading, is coming from Satan. And this very behavior that's coming from Satan or self is the very nature of your diabolical God in the Bible. Because when we look at God in the Bible, he's promoting evil. He's seeking to make others unhappy. And don't get me wrong, I pull out them chapter and verses. Who what? Delight in crime and pollution. So Owaspi is making the distinction between how to serve the Creator in comparison to being below the grades, serving self and doing harmless things to other people. So it's not really that hard to understand. A baby could understand this shit. Resurrection based off the grades. See, everything is about ascension. When you go to school, you're not there to stay in the first grade forever, or the second grade, or the 7th, or the 10th, or the 11th, or the 12th. Even when you graduate high school, you go to what? Places what? Higher learning. You go to college. And in some colleges is what? 4 years. So it's like you're starting all over again. How long have you been in this college? This is my first year in college, although you just in high school. But you're starting all over again, starting from a first. See that? It's not that hard to understand. I make this shit for a baby to understand. If some children were standing with me right now, they'll be like, yeah, they understand. A lot of times I do have kids around me and they comprehend this shit. I teach them this because it's practical. They can relate to it. Look what it states. Grade 1 is on the earth. Grade 50, midway between the earth and the emancipated heavens, etheria. So now they're giving you a composition of the grades based off the earth and atmospheric planes and etheria. Etheria is the college. So, all right, so check it. Earth is elementary school. So grade 1 is of the earth, elementary school. And elementary school, it starts from what? 1st grade to 6th grade is elementary school. So that's grade 1. Grade 50, midway between the earth and the emancipated heavens. So grade 50, midway is high school. That's the atmosphere, the stratosphere, the exosphere, all the atmospherian plateaus are high school. Where does high school start from? High school, some high schools start at 8th grade, some high schools start at 9th grade. So from 9th to 12th grade is high school. See that? And then you got after high school etheria, which is college. See that? So look at that, yo. I'm just saying. This is what we're dealing with. Grade 25 is 1/4 way up of the earth. So all this is just breaking down this right here. Just this right here. The ascended grades from earth to the highest atmosphere. That's what that's saying right there in the verses right here. Grade 25 is 1/4 of the way up from the earth toward etheria, but grade 75 is 3/4 of the way up toward etheria, and so on intermediately. Grades and places of ascent corresponding in like manner. See that? See that? But grade 99 is the highest atmospheric grade, preparatory to entrance into the company of the all pure in spirit. Them Etherians, them eat the boys, them eat the girls. They're going to come down and take your ass up to them eat the planes once you get ready for graduation. That's where we headed. I don't know where you niggas is going, but this is where we headed. We headed up and out. This is the equivalent of me saying, nigga, when I graduate high school, I'm going to college. While you saying, when I graduate high school, I'm going to stay here because my God told me to stay here because his kingdom is here. My teacher is my God, and I got to stay here because the principal reside over the high school. So the principal is telling you that don't go to college. Stay in this high school because I am your God. Well, I'm like, nah, man, you can believe that principle. I'm going to college. Because some scholars come over and told me that my GPA allows me to go to this college over here while your ass remain in the high school. See that? We put things in context. And this is another example of the ascension from the earth plane to the highest atmospheric plane before becoming one with the Metherian angels. See that? So the God who you think is the most high is a school teacher. The God who you think is the most high is a principal of a school. He just rules over one heavenly kingdom belonging to the earth. But there are endless and the numerous star systems with the numerous solar system and celestial bodies that the Creator has angelical hosts ruling over them. The earth is just one out of innumerous, meaning you can't even put a number on it. When you look up into the constellations, you can't put a number on a count on that. It's a numerous. So the same way that there are numerous celestial bodies, the same way there are numerous angels, etherian angels, high-ranking angels, archangels to manage and maintain these celestial bodies that the Creator creates. See how that works? See how that shit just flows out smooth when you one with the Creator? Ain't no complications over here. Ain't no scratching my head trying to figure this shit out over here. I'm giving it to you like a baby could understand this shit. Children could understand this. Don't let the children understand this shit and then shoot that shit back at your ass as an adult, or you're gonna get highly offended. Because they're gonna be outsmarting your big ass. So now, do this. Book of Judgment, chapter 3, verse 24 states, look what it states. Pay attention. Pay attention. Nor have I provided resurrection in this world, meaning the earth plane, or in my heavens above, meaning the planes of where the spirits of the dead dwell, except by what? Good works done to others. This is Creator gang. This is the shit we about. This is the shit we striving for. Although we living in the worst conditions, we living in the projects, we living in the ghetto, we living where gunshots is being shot every other day, or somebody dying around you, people getting killed over drugs, money, sex, violence. We living in this environment, and we still strive to be righteous, huh? And not fall into the traps of the world. This is what Creator gang is about: lifting us up, lifting your spirit up, being motivated, being inspired. All that helps with your resurrection, because if you're inspired and if you're motivated, you could share that motivation and inspiration with somebody else. You ever been around somebody who was down and out and you were so motivated that you inspired them? And they were like, yo, man, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you. And now their spirit is up to par with your spirit, although just now that their spirit was at a low rate. That's what we're dealing with, family. We're dealing with the nature of spirit within ourselves. Each one, teach one, help your brother, give him joy, give him comfort. Feel me? Now let me finish the verse. Nor have I provided resurrection in this world or in my heavens above, except by good works done to others. And this is serving Jehovah. See that? The all person. And not because of any worship or confessions done before any of the idols of the earth or heaven. Look at that. I already said God is associated with deity, angels, and idols. So right here, we don't worship deity. We don't worship God. We don't acknowledge no goddamn God for worship. You crazy? Because God is an angel, and an angel is a one-time human being. That's like me bowing down to myself, worshiping me. Or bowing down to one of you niggas or one of you women and kissing your feet, talking about you Creator. No, not in my eyes. I don't worship idols. God is an idol. He's something you can look upon. Moses and Jacob saw God face to face. Moses saw the back of God. God was walking through the garden talking to Adam, having a conversation face to face with Adam. Because if the Lord God knew that Adam was naked, and Adam told God that the serpent did this to me, they're having a conversation face to face. And that's the same almighty Creator who created the sun, moon, and stars that is now walking in the garden. You have been bamboozled for thousands of years with falsehood, and we're clearing this shit up. So we don't serve idols. We don't serve Elohims. We serve Creator. That's who we serve. And in the Oahspe, this Creator is called Jehovah. Regardless if you like the name or not, you ain't got to use a name. We just say Creator. We say Ormaz. We say other name that reference Creator. But when we say, because a name is just a name, the name is really irrelevant. But the danger comes is when you identify the name with an idol, with a deity, with something with comprehensible shape, form, and figure, that's when your God or that what you claim to be created becomes a problem. Because now you had deified the creator. You had took something that is incomprehensible and you made it comprehensible. And talking about this comprehensible deity is the all in all falsehood. So again, the service of the creator, the way we should worship creator and serve creator is by doing good works unto others. This is the service of creator. Just like what it say right here. Look what it say. This is the highlight. Nor have I provided resurrection in this world or in my heavens above, except by good works done to others, and this is serving Jehovah. See that? See that? You don't need no 613 commandments. You don't need to cut no goat heads. Who told you to cut goat heads? Who told you about a peace offering and a sin offering and all this stuff? Who gave you that? Judge, I say the service unto me is to serve others in good works. Not once have we read the service to Creator had anything to do with shedding blood. See that? But wherever good works have resulted in affiliation and in lifting the people up out of misery and crime, the same is adjudged as what? Worship of the Great Spirit. See that? This is our form of worship. It may seem strange to you because you've been taught to worship means to fall on your face and prostrate before the ground and profess to your God. But for us, the way we worship and serve Creator is what? But wherever good works have resulted in affiliation and in lifting the people up out of misery and crime, the same is adjudged as worship of the Great Spirit Jehovah. See the difference? See the difference? This is what we're dealing with. The worship of Jehovah don't require bloodshed. Now, don't get me wrong. There is instances in the scripture in the Owaspy where during the time period of man, where they're at, the Creator will use wisdom and deal with man accordingly based off the time period. But the overall spectrum and agenda of Creator is the service done unto others in righteousness and good works. So now, what we got here? This last verse, Book of Esther, chapter 30, verse 17. Consider then what you can do that will raise you in spirit, for this is resurrection. First, to purify yourself. Second, to do all the good you can. And third, to affiliate. Without these, there can be no resurrection. Look at that. You wonder why Israel ain't getting along, why they can't figure out? Because they ain't got these principal things right here. And if they're practicing it, you know what I mean? They got to come together as a body eventually under one banner. When you come under, when y'all put your egos aside, Nathaniel, when you put your egos aside, Zabak, when you put your egos aside, General Yohana, well, I can't blame them because that's where everybody broke off from. So they got to come back to the school that they broke off from. So all them niggas got to come, all them niggas who broke away from the One West camp got to come back to that camp and come up under one body. And then we'll take you niggas serious. Because in the Owaspy, when God stray away from true God, they come back. Or if a false God becomes a false God and raise up a host or a military, raise up a whole host of people. So if a false God got, let's say, 10 million in his kingdom, he's responsible for raising those 10 million up and letting them know that, yo, I lied to y'all. I ain't the creator. Now I got to serve y'all in righteousness and good works. That's what he gonna have to do every time. Every time a false God becomes a false God, the end game is that the kingdoms go into anarchy and hell. They're delivered out of that. Then they're judged and sent back to his kingdom to restore all those people he misled. That's the judgment of Creator in the Owaspy. Ain't nobody going to no lakes of fire burning. Niggas ain't getting cast into hell. But the false gods can create those atmospheric conditions. The false gods can create a fiery furnace and throw the spirits of the dead in there. The false gods can create walls of walls of fire and cast you in there so you can't escape. The false gods could take noxious gases, poisonous, foul-smelling gases, and fuck with you with that. See, the Owaspi shows you that the false gods is the one who create hells and knots in these conditions. The creator don't do that. True God don't do that. They looking back like this, like, look at these dumbass niggas over here. Didn't we tell these niggas don't do this and don't do that, and they over here doing that? Now look at the condition that they done created. Just like with the earth right now. Look at the condition of the earth right now with warfare. If we would have applied the brotherhood law, thou shalt not murder and kill. If we would have applied the brotherhood law, love thy neighbor as thyself, nigga, we wouldn't have war right now. We wouldn't be following a God of war. A God of war wouldn't even exist in our minds if we was following the first two laws that they mentioned in Matthew's. Rabbi, what are the greatest commandments? That's what I'm talking about. You dig? You know what I mean? Give me a one in the chat. Give me a one in the chat if you get this understanding. Give me a one in the chat. You know what I mean? You know how we do. You know how we do. You get clarity over here. Everything clear over here, nigga. You see in 20/20 vision when you come over here. Even if you cloudy off the smoke or intoxicated off the drink, you gonna get 20/20 vision when you come over here. To create a gang over here, man. Creator is undefeated, my nigga. You dig? It's a blood clot vibes. Let me lift the rhythm. Let me lift the blood clot rhythm. Blood clot vibes, yes, family. You know what I mean? Yes, family. It's a blood clot vibe. So we getting clarity over here. We just clearing up some things. You know, we're clearing up some things about the deities. Because see, if they understood biblically that God is a deity and not the Most High, then you'll have a better understanding of the heavenly kingdom. But we've been taught that this God is the creator, the Most High. It's a dangerous thing. Yes, family. It's a vibe, vibes. Yes, family. Yeah, the angels travel in ships. The same way we travel in ships. Go to one region to another region. Now, don't get me wrong, angels can teleport. There is a limitation to the teleport. So, if you ever read the book Life in the Unseen World, it shows you how you may be able to teleport from a certain expanse. You just can't teleport from here across the universe, or I'm gonna teleport from here to India. No, it's within a region and a distance. You know what I mean? It's a confinement to that. To travel long distances, you're gonna have to get up on that goddamn Aravana or Octavane and hop on them ships and travel. If you want to go to India, we're gonna hop on a plane and go to India. See what I'm saying? As above, so below as above. But the spiritual world does come with advantages. The spiritual world does have its advantages over the corporeal, and that only makes sense. The same way college would have its advantages over a high school is the same way the atmospheric or the angelic world would have their advantages over the physical world. Because see, the angels in the second resurrection or the second atmospheric realm or the second advancement, they learned the mastery of the elements of the earth. So the angels were may be able to do some things that we would consider miracles and abnormal in nature. Like, nigga, that's not normal. You know what I mean? You put a seed and a plant grow into a flower off that right before your eyes within a matter of a couple of seconds. That's not normal. But these are sciences that comes with the advancement of some of these spiritual ascensions, these spiritual masters and ascended beings. They can manipulate matter. They can manipulate the elements and do things that we would consider abnormal or miracles. How did he do that? And the Owaspy explains this. This is science. It's not a miracle because the nigga just did it and spook. It's just some spook shit. It's a science to the shit. You have physical and you have atmosphere. You have basically tangible, corporeal, and you have gas. Like, everything is the same. It's just moving at a vibrational frequency, different vibrational frequency. That's where the electromagnetic spectrum comes into play. Everything in creation has a wavelength. In order to be alive, you have to have a wavelength. You know, when they put if a nigga gets shot, somebody get into a bad car accident and your ass laying on the thing, and they put the defibrillators on your chest to get a what? To get a pulse? To get a what? A reading, right? To get a wavelength. See that? Your heart generates wavelength. And they use a machine to give it electricity to pump and electrify the heart to give back the wavelength. Your heart pumping is the wavelength. It's this. That's what's going on. That's creation right there. Everything in creation is this. That's the wavelength. That's the vortex. That's the solar system. That's the great serpent. All this is the flow of vortexia in creation. That's the flow. And the angels manipulate this. They manipulate that. Because what I'm doing is moving at a certain vibrational frequency. That frequency could speed up or it could slow down. And through the manipulation of this frequency, with these angels, how they could appear, they could materialize. An angel moving at a fast rate like this, slow it down to this. We moving at this rate. So if an angel moving at this rate, slow it down to this, guess what? He's going to become visible to us. He's going to become tangible because he done slowed down his vibrational frequency to visible light. He done slowed down to 700, 300 nanometers within that spectrum, within that range, within that bandwidth. But if he increases his frequency, his vibrational frequency of his body, if he increases it, he will go outside of visible light. He will become invisible to us. It's not he's invisible because of spookism. He's invisible because he's moving at a faster vibrational frequency. And all this is based off the electromagnetic spectrum. That's just dealing with that spectrum of science. Visibility and invisibility is based off vibrational frequencies of electromagnetic frequencies. And this electromagnetic frequencies is vortexia. It's a blood clot vibe. See that? I told you make this shit big for a baby can understand. Make this shit simple for a kid to understand. So the spirits of the dead exist outside of visible light. And sometimes if you do see the spirit of the dead, it's because he done tapped in to visible light. Like, oh shit, there you go. You know how many times I done showed the ancestor on the porch? How many times I done showed that picture? I showed the news clippings of spirits walking through the house and they caught it on camera. See that? Sometimes the spirit will ingrid itself in the bandwidth of 400 to 700 nanometers. And we see it. And it may be right there on the border width of the nanometer. Because a lot of times when you see the spirit, you see through them. It's like an apparition or a ghost, whatever. But they're just right at the borderline of visible light, 700 nanometers. Or on the other side, 300 nanometers, depending on what side of the spectrum. Because one side, the vibrational frequency is moving faster. On the other side, it's moving slower. So Both sides are still dealing with outside of visible light. One is just moving faster and one is just moving slower. Those that are moving faster are moving more on an ascended level. Those that are moving slower are more of the lingering, the drudges. See that? The vibrational frequency in the higher atmospheric realms is moving fast. See that? So if you're trying to ascend, you got to increase your vibrational frequency. That's why they say dieting and purifying your body, because fruits and vegetables electrify the body. It increases the vibrational frequency in comparison to eating flesh and blood, where it decreases and slows down the vibrational frequency. So when you cross over a spirit, you'll find yourself in the infrared range of the spectrum instead of finding yourself in them goddamn gamma rays and them ultraviolet rays where your ass need to be to continue ascending. See, it's all science. Once you get to understanding the creator, you got to crack that gym and figure. I done figured this shit out. I done did the years of research and studying, investigating the OWASP, investigating science, investigating cosmology, and all that. So just showing my fruits and my goddamn my fruits from investigating this knowledge. You dig? Because it's a blood clot vibes. Right. DMT let you see up. Yep. I had a friend who took a DMT trip and he saw Anubis. He didn't even know who the deity was. He just described it to me. And I said, oh, that's Anubis. He said, when I tapped in, he said that Egyptian dude with the dog head, I seen him. And I said, oh, you mean Anubis? He said, I guess that's him. And he said, the nigga did this to me. He touched me. And I said, ooh, that's what the nigga told me. I'm listening to this nigga's story telling me how Anubis, the dog-headed god of Egypt, touched him when he went on a DMT trip. So what I'm saying is that DMT, the molecular structure, mycelium and all these things that's in mushrooms, the mineral that allows you to get there and tap in is carbon and nitrogen. Those are the two key minerals for you to tap in and increase your vibrational frequency, increase your neurons, and excite the neurons, and then you tap in to that which is normally unseen. See, I know the science of this shit. I don't need to tap in to believe it. I already know the science. I done tapped in and, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's cool and all that, but you got to continue to educate and understand the science, you know what I mean? Because in that realm, all type of entities exist. Good, bad, evil, deceivers, tricksters, the same what you got on the earth plane. Smart motherfuckers that are very intelligent, that are cunning, and that'll use that knowledge against you. Yeah. So it's levels to this shit. You dig? Yes, family. So yeah, man, it's like if you really want to have an understanding of creator without sounding spooky, study the pH scale. No, first study the periodic table of elements. Study the periodic table of elements. Get familiar with that if you ain't. The periodic table of elements is the physical makeup of everything in creation. Physically seen and gaseous, unseen. Because oxygen is an element which is unseen. Nitrogen is an element which is unseen. But carbon is an element that we could see. Iron is an element that we could see. See that? So you have elements that are seen and unseen. That's the periodic table of elements. Those are your minerals. We are mineralites, body made of minerals. Next, after the periodic table of elements, you put is what I just break down, the electromagnetic spectrum. That's the second. It's three principal things in creation that governs And you cannot escape. These three things that I'm mentioning, you cannot escape in creation. You're going to face it one way or the other. The first is the periodic table of elements. You can't escape that in creation because everything is made up of minerals in creation, seen and unseen. Second is the electromagnetic spectrum, the vibrational frequency of everything in creation, because everything in creation have a vibrational frequency. That's why we have an electromagnetic spectrum. Third is the pH scale. The pH scale comes into play when the world is suitable to sustain vegetation. When the world is suitable to sustain vegetation, that's when the pH come into play, because the pH is the balance of acid and alkaline in the soil. So in order for vegetation to be suitable for human beings and animals to digest, the soil has to be alkaline. Because if the soil is alkaline, all vegetation growing over that soil will be alkaline and suitable to digest for man and animal. Now, you can have some plants that are slightly acidic. You can have soil that is slightly acidic and is still suitable for man. But the balance of life comes in when planets are inhabitable to sustain vegetation, because the vegetation is going to ultimately sustain this existence of the animal kingdom. And humans are part of the animal kingdom. So the animal kingdom cannot exist if the vegetation, the vegetable kingdom, is not set in play correctly. So that's where the pH scale comes at, because the pH scale is the balance of life. It's the balance of life and it's the balance of death. Life is on the alkaline side, death is on the pH side. And in the middle is neutral. So you have a choice to eat according to life or to eat according to your death. You in control of that. Those are the three principal things in creation: the periodic table of elements, the electromagnetic spectrum, and the pH scale. Those three things in creation you cannot escape. Our skin, we black men or white men, that man, it's all based off of minerals. Your hair, your back is carbon. See that? It's coming back to minerals. So people argue nationality in them things, in those things. Creator is undefeated, no doubt. So my argument is, if the angels can teleport heavy objects, why cannot they teleport the human body? I've seen musicians like Dynamo do this. Hey, I would. Hey, let me tell you something. I wouldn't put past nothing. I wouldn't doubt nothing these days. I told you, I have a homeboy. I know this man personally. He's from Belize. They're twin brothers. And I seen this man levitate off the ground 3 times before my eyes. I seen this nigga come off the ground. This is his feet. This is feet. This the ground. This is feet. I seen this nigga come off his feet, do this, and then do this. I seen that with my own eyes. And then the nigga asked me for a cigarette after. I said, Jesus Christ, this nigga asked me for a cigarette. This nigga's, his temple is impure because he asked me for a cigarette. He's smoking cigarettes, but this nigga just levitated. The nigga just levitated before my eyes, bro. I was at a 5% rally. The Nation of Gods and Earths. I was at a 5% rally, and it just finished on Auburn Avenue, right over there by the bridge on 75, where that statue at the mayor's face. We was right there. And right after the rally, everybody dispersed except me and this one dude. And my man walked up to me, and this nigga, we had the conversation, and this nigga levitated. This nigga said, boop, boop. The second time he said, boop, boop. The third time he said, boop, boop. I was like, yo, because I asked him to do it 2 more times after he did it that first time. So my point is that, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised, yo. You could teleport objects, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done heard, I had people to Caribbean motherfuckers, man. I had Caribbean people tell me shit that, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't believe, like, nigga, that's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Niggas standing right there in the pier over there, you know, some shit, some shit that ain't normal. Just like I was talking earlier, this shit is a science. Because if your ass could teleport from here to here, that ain't make believe. It's a science to that if that's real. We know for sure it's real for the angels because they dealing on that type of science, but on a terrestrial level, If a motherfucker attain that, they shit. They on some next level shit. Right. His faith must be strong. Big facts. I'm talking about beyond strong. You got to, that's second heaven strong. He got some shalom. Zachariah Rahul, peace to the God. What's going on, King? Peace to the righteous God. You know what I mean? Shalom, man. Yeah, man. We just sit up here chopping it up, just building it with the family for a little bit. You know what I mean? Dropping some creator gang knowledge, creator. You know what I mean? We don't serve deities because we are the deities. And we don't serve deities. When you go to school, you don't bow down to the feet of your teacher. You don't bow down to the feet of your principal. These are just ranking men with those titles in school. Principal is the overseer. He presides over the high school. The teachers teach in selected departments within the high school to help raise the children's grades so they can move on to the next grade and eventually graduate. That same schooling system is the same way the heavenly kingdom is broken down. One presiding God over the whole kingdom. And then within the kingdom, you have different departments of teachers with titles as lords and lord gods. And their duty is what? To help resurrect the soul of men through educational schooling. No different than earth. You got to go to school to get education and shit like that, right? It's the same thing in the atmospheric world. That's what the kingdoms is about. It's about education and learning and progression. When you go to true God's kingdom, you're not staying there. That's momentarily. Just like when you're in high school. When you go to high school, you don't stay in high school forever. That's momentarily. You graduate and then go to another school, college, and you don't stay there forever. It's consistent growth, consistent elevation. But systems and kingdoms are set up each time you go, and they're grander and greater every time. Yo, creators, yo, I'm glad I came across this OWASP information, because it opened up my eyes to an endless world of creation and progression, starting from a single entity from your native planet, we from the earth, starting from here, coming into the earth through your mother's womb, and you will remain forever growing throughout the cosmos and creation. But you're starting here. This is the first grade. The fleshly body is the start. This is the start. Once you shed this body, it's up and out forever. Ain't no stopping. You see all those constellations in the cosmos, you think that motherfucker just put that up there for play? Nigga, that shit is up there for your ass to visit when you start ascending in the realm. Just like in school, just like in life. You start off growing up, and look how vast the earth is. Eventually, you come out of your state and move to another state. Or I want to go visit over here and go visit over here. You branch out. You don't stay locked in. You go visit places that you thought you could never visit. You go to India. You go to Alaska. You go to China. That's the equivalent of saying, nigga, you go into Osiris, you go into the Palladians, you go into Andromeda. It's the same thing, but on a vast scale. You have limited the creator thinking he's in a box, but I'm showing you the vastness of creator. That all them star systems you're looking at, you're going to visit them motherfuckers because you have eternity to do it. You're just starting here at this, on this plane. See that? That's how that go. That's how that go. No stagnation, exactly. You couldn't have said it no fucking better, yo. No goddamn stagnation. Now, we need to have some shirts with that motherfucker on it right there. Have some shirts, and let's just say no stagnation. You know how motivating that is? You may be down and out one day. You look up and see a nigga shirt, and let's just say no stagnation. You be, all right, fuck that nigga, no stagnation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Words will pump your ass up. You need words to, you know what I mean? Shake up the spirit. Shock that shit a little bit. Get some excitement to that motherfucker. You feel me? Endless ascent. That's right, Cosmo. You know what it is. You know what it is. Prisoners were terrified of that guy. That's something else you're talking. But it's all love, though. Exactly. God's in training. Exactly. You say, Prince, I love the science and practical light of OWASP. Exactly. It's practical. Everything I'm giving you today is, I ain't say shit about worshiping no God. I ain't say shit about if you don't worship a God, he gonna cast your ass in a lake of fire. We ain't dealing with none of that bullshit. If you following a God who's giving you to believe that, then you're in judgment of that God. But I don't serve your God. So you can't force the belief of your God upon us when we have renounced that God and returned to Creator and backing Creator, verifying Creator through books or whether it be through nature or cosmology, nigga. We demonstrating Creator. You see what I'm saying? And trying to better our behavior in the process. You hear me cursing and shit like that a lot. You know what I mean? Working on all that. And a lot of times I do that just to show motherfuckers I'm human. I'm just like you, my nigga. Nigga asked me if I was the Archangel Michael. Man, when I heard that, I was like, nah, man, I gotta let these niggas know I'm human. Nigga, like, nigga, no, ain't no damn Archangel Michael. But if I was deceptive, I could have said, yeah, nigga, I'm the Archangel Michael. Nigga, bow down and kiss my feet. Because that's what gods do. Gods tell you to bow down and worship them. Deities tell you to bow down and worship them. You bow down at the feet of the gods. We ain't bowing down. That's why Daniel, when Daniel, them niggas, everybody was bowing. What's the story in Daniel? Them niggas was bowing down. And the same bow down. We don't serve your Daniel and them niggas like, nigga, we don't serve your. We ain't bowing down. Nor are we eating the food you eat. We not eating that shit, nigga. The God we serve, we don't eat that. Nor do we bow down. See that? Y'all niggas got to stand on y'all square like Daniel did with the Creator, though. Not no goddamn God, not no deity. Although Daniel could have been really dealing with Creator, but the text, the false pens of the scribes manipulated Creator into a deity, and now we thinking Daniel talking about a deity when he could exactly talking about Creator. That's why the Owaspi had to come and clear the shit up about Creator and the deity, show you the difference, and be clear about the difference, and be clear about the behavior that comes with the difference. Yes, family. So, you know what I mean? Easy way we say. Jehu had his cheeks to the air. You know what I mean? Worshiping God, bowing down to God. Nah, man, we ain't bowing down to no gods. Only time in the Yowaski when niggas be bowing down. Hold up. You getting on camera. When niggas be bowing down in the Yowaski is when that bright light hit them niggas. Like them new spirits, them first fruits that come into the atmosphere. And they first come into that arena, and that light pop off, and them niggas drop to the ground because of that light. Niggas dropping your watch because of that light, not because of no God, because that light bright, and niggas don't know what to do, but then drop to the ground. Yeah, this shit deep, yo. Peace to the God. Yeah, you still got Israelites, got other nations kissing the feet like the false God did our people. Facts. Let's get Jehu then. Jehu, the sellout. Can you imagine? Jehu kissing the feet, and they got this shit on record till today. Man, that's messed up. Just imagine y'all meet Jehu and like, yeah, man, that was fucked up what they did to you on earth. Got you out there kissing the boot for all these years out there like that, man. They had you kissing them boot for years. See, look. See that? There go Jehu, yo. Kissing the boot. That's what your God wants you to do. That's your God standing right there, and that's you bowing down to your God. That's your God saying, bow down and worship me. Worship at my feet, Israel. See that? Written in stone. And then the crazy thing, the Assyrians, look, they got on the fringes. See that? Look right there. The task, you know them things they be wearing right there? The CCs? Or the little dangling thing, whatever. Man. But essentially, these are cousins. The Israelites, Assyrians, and Babylonian is one family. That's equivalent to the Nile Valley. These are the Mesopotamian Valley. Mesopotamia encompasses the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Hebrews, because this is where the Hebrews origin is from. Abraham is from these regions. And in these regions, these were the people who occupied. So these are cousins to Israel. Babylonians, Assyrians are cousins, long distant family members. They just warn among themselves. And look how Jehu looking, yo. And like I said, he got the dagger right there. He got the dagger right there. That nigga could have just took this hand right here, went back, got the dagger, and got the stabbing at the ankles right there. Got the working. Because if he would have grabbed the dagger and hit the Achilles heel right here, it's over for him. Ain't no walking no more. And then once he would have hit the Achilles heel, he could have turned around swiftly and get the juckings, get the stabbing in the gut. But probably at that time, this dude probably would have pulled out and he would have died anyway. So at least he would have went out with a battle, at least. That would have been Jehu for y'all niggas. At least he should have went out like that. If he would have went out like that, I would have been like, all right, you know what I mean? That nigga had a little bit of heart. But they only got pictures of Israelites in submissive roles, submitted roles, going into captivity, bowing down on their face to their enemy. Where is a depiction of the Israelites in antiquity and their glory, depicted in stone and artifacts that we can say, look, this is the peak of Israel, and look, King David sitting on the stone. Look at this depiction of King Solomon sitting on the stone, the same way they have depictions of Osiris sitting on his goddamn throne. Where the goddamn Israelites sitting on their throne at? Let me get the depiction of Osiris sitting on the stone. See how that work? All you got the depictions of Israel is going into captivity, falling on their face, bowing down to false gods. But where they glory at? Where they glory at outside the text? See that? This Osiris right here. See that? See Osiris sitting in his glory? Where is Israel sitting in their glory? Like this. Huh? But instead, Israel is looking like this. Even for the Assyrians, this is glorious. Because they got their enemies prostrated on goddamn whatever this material is. I'll just say stone for now. In stone, thousands of years later, for us to look back and say, look what the Assyrians did to Jehu, the Israelite man, the Judite man. That's how they... Can you imagine a nigga doing that to you in history? Just imagine meeting Jehu in spirit and be like, yo, man, that's fucked up what they did to you on earth, man. Them niggas got you in an assed up position like that for thousands of generations later to see? Man, that's fucked up. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But instead, your Lord God got you looking like this because you were a reflection of your God. So the Assyrians, whoever God they serving, looking good right now. You know what I mean? They got their arches up. They standing on their 2 feet, looking like men and women. And then the bad thing is that they got females there. How you gonna look? You know, I mean, I would have had to go out with a blaze. I ain't about to look like that before no chicks, nigga. You crazy? You think I'm about to be kissing the feet of a nigga before a woman? Oh, fuck no, nigga. Take my head. I'm going to fight your ass to the death before that happens. But you got a chick right here looking at the nigga from the front. And I don't know if that's a chick. That look like a chick right there. Yeah, it's 2 chicks and 3 dudes. And that's you. Right in the middle. But then you got Osiris over here on his throne, on his square, looking like God. That is God. The deity Osiris, that's a deity. That's a neter. That's an ancestor. And the judgment hall of Ma'at is proving that he's a deity because he's sitting on his square. The same way you see Baal and Baal sitting on his square. Same way you see the god Baal sitting on his square. See that? See how these niggas sitting on a square? Phoenician god bar. See how he's sitting? See how he's being depicted as the seat of authority. That's what that's showing. It's showing authority. Coming back to Osiris. Authority. He's the authoritative figure here. He's the nigga in charge here. Out of everybody in this goddamn picture, Osiris is the head nigga in charge. And this guy right here is coming through to become one with Osar. See that? But Israel is looking like this in antiquity. Where's the glory depictions and archaeology that we can look upon the house of Israel and say, look, we got our enemies doing this. But instead, it's the opposite. And that's why maybe today they have such a zeal of having their enemies kiss their boot, because this is something that was psychologically damaging and genetically brought down through the gene pool. That today that these niggas is obsessed with kissing of the boot because Jahu was obsessed with kissing the boot of their goddamn enemies. Bag drop. Bag fucking drop. I need to get me some goddamn explosions in this motherfucker. Fuck that. Cause some of the shit I be saying, nigga, that shit is fucking nuclear goddamn weapons going off. Whole nuclear goddamn planetary systems goddamn being destroyed when I be dropping these goddamn gems, nigga. What do you mean? Ain't nobody dropping this shit out here like this? Outside of Creator Gang Gang? Ain't nobody putting this shit like this together like nobody out here. Come on, man. Shout out Creator Gang Gang. Shout out, you know what I mean, Cosmo Cal. Shout out goddamn Malachi Maccabee. Shout out Daryl of Cosmo. You know what I mean? Shout out Pam. You know what I mean? Awaken Ministry. Shout out Imam. You know what I mean? Nazarene Faith, the Sisterhood. You know what I mean? Shout out all the sisters. You know what I mean? Yeah, all the gods and goddesses. We on these high vibrational frequencies. We ain't locked in, yo. Get a good sound bite. Yeah, I gotta free up some space, man. I think my sound bite is full, yo. Ooh, some good shit here. Cal was hoping the bomb dropping. Nah, I got some. I can extrapolate off the internet. You dig? Yo, shout out to my nigga Yahoo, man. That's my man right there. That's the big homie right there, man. That's the big homie, man. Shout out to the big homie. See, I'm wearing the colors, man. Shout out to my Cali niggas. The toot and the boot mascot. Yo, we gonna get some shirts printed with Yahoo in the mascot position, yo, in the goddamn, you know what I mean, the boot kissing position, yo. And the crazy thing, at that time, Israel was under the false gods. There was a war going on among the false gods at that time, among Baal and Ashtoreth. There was a war going on with them. And Osiris as well came, you know, in the midst of that as well. But it was a triangular war the Owaspy talks about, from Canaan to Mesopotamia and within that region. It was a war, big wars. You know what I mean? So Israel lost the ways of the Creator, started following a false god. Bible calls it Malak, Baal, the Canaanite gods. They fell for some of them, not all of them. But the majority of the Israelites fell from the Creator and started worshiping the deities. But a small minority still held on to Creator. But you don't hear their story. You only hear the story of the majority, which is those following the false god. That's where you got all these sacrifices, all these burnt offerings. I am an angry and jealous God. And all this stuff comes from the ideology of the false gods in comparison to that small minority who had the truth of Creator, but was, you know what I mean, outlawed. And, you know what I mean? They didn't have no say-so because of They disagreed with the state leaders of the Pharisees or whoever, the kings and the priests. They disagreed with them with the priesthood and stuff like that. The priesthood of Aaron. Not everybody was with that. Not everybody was with the spilling of animals, killing of blood. You had those sect of Israelites that knew better, that wasn't from the organic, Mosaic, pure, thou shalt not murder and kill nothing type. You know what I mean? So it shows you that feud. It shows you that distinction that Israelites started worshiping false deities in comparison to a small minute who kept held steadfast to the Creator, but you don't hear their story. You hear the story of King David, Solomon, these great leaders who's going forth to battle in the name of their God, but that God they're going on in defense to battle with is not the Creator. It's a false God who got the Israelites believing he's the Creator, and the God is using that against the Israelites. He's using that to his advantage because we're flesh and blood beings. These are angelic beings. They're more intelligent. So they're like, oh, this nigga thing, I just came to appear and let them know I'm a messenger from the Lord. But look, this nigga Joshua just bowed down and worship me, nigga. Take your feet off, nigga. The captain of the Lord that came to Joshua with the sword, Joshua worshipped him. And that angel didn't say, oh man, you shouldn't do that. Don't worship me. Worship God. The nigga told Joshua, nigga, take off your feet, nigga. You standing on holy ground. That nigga said some G shit to Joshua. That nigga said some gangster shit to Joshua. That's how you know these niggas was niggas. The nigga Joshua seen the nigga like, yo, big homie, who you? Where you come from, homie? The nigga like, yo, I'm the captain of the Lord, nigga. You see this sword I got on me? You see this motherfucking shotty? You see this hammer? You see this chopper? Speaking in today's terms. You see this sword? Speaking in ancient terms. And Joshua like, damn, my nigga. You know how niggas do praising you like, yeah, you that nigga, my nigga. Instead of saying, nah, my nigga, you know, you can have that shit too. You know, I mean, big homie, nah. Joshua was like, yeah, my nigga. Oh, let me bow down and worship you. And the nigga Lord say, nigga, take your feet off, nigga. You standing on holy ground, nigga. That nigga said some G shit to Joshua. But he worshipped him. He worshipped the angel. He worshipped the captain of the Lord. But in Revelation, when John went to go do it, John went to go fall down and worship the angel. The angel said, no, don't do that. Don't do no shit, nigga. Don't you ever do no shit like that, nigga. Fuck you doing bowing down worshiping me, nigga? You know how much trouble I get? If God found out that you was bowing to me, nigga, you don't bow down to me. You bow down to God. He another nigga like us, though. But, you know, he that head nigga, though. You don't want to fuck him over. He God, nigga. But he a nigga like us. He a man like me and you. See how that work? See how that work? So you fucked up both ways, nigga. You fucked up both. If the nigga you worshiping, if you falling before the nigga worshiping him, and you say, nigga, dust your feet up my door, you still dealing with a deity. And if the deity says, no, don't worship me, but worship God, you still dealing with a deity, because God is the deity. He's just the chief nigga in charge. He the boss of bosses. He's the president. He's the king. See how that worked? See how that worked? It's a blood clot vibes. You wild, King. He said I got my mom's watching Atlanta's Ugly. Yeah, yo, go like, subscribe, share. Episode 5 just dropped yesterday, actually. Yeah, yesterday, Friday, yo. Go check out episode 5 of Atlanta's Ugly. You know how we do. OBS? Oh, yeah, I had OBS too. Yeah, I know a couple of people that brought it. Yeah, I know a couple of people that brought it. Yes, family. Kizzy, what's good, Kizzy? I see you in the building. Kizzy, Rob. Been a minute. Peace to the family. Peace peace, love, and light. You know what I mean? But you know what, family? I got some things to do. I just wanted to hop on and let y'all know I have an upcoming debate. You know what I mean? I have an upcoming debate this Wednesday at 7 p.m. The topic is God a deity or the creator? And my stance is to show that God is a deity and not the creator. And I'm going to show that the creator is not associated with deities, but is the ever-presence, the all in all. You dig? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and push out your boy Selah Shalom signing out. And we're going to link up next time. You know how we do. Let's create a gang all day. You feel me? Salute, family. It's a vibes.